Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Mr. Shakespeare here again with you on the 9th of May, 2023. I'm here with psychic medium and remote viewer, Liz Cross. How are you doing today, Liz?
Thank you. The audience should give me a round of applause because I just stealthily got you to do this probe.
It was very clever what you did. Very, very clever.
Now,
right.
Can I ask this question?
Yes.
The question that people do want to know on the Discord, Mr. Shakespeare, did you watch the coronation?
Of course I did. Not.
Of course.
Hang on, let me explain. I got my timings wrong. For some reason, I thought it was next year. I didn't realize it was this year. I've got some grass, growing in my back garden, and I thought it'd be a good idea to watch it grow. I thought it'd be more interesting, so I did. And then I found some paint drying on a wall, so I watched that as well. Oh. No, I didn't watch any of it. I went out on my bike.
Oh, okay.
A bunch of us went out on our bikes.
So you could still see after you stuck burning matchsticks into your eyes then.
Yeah. I didn't get up early. I didn't camp out for 2 days. I didn't do anything. I haven't seen any of it. I didn't see any of it on the news. I missed all of it. So I managed to miss all of it. Oh dear.
Did you eat quiche?
Quiche?
Yeah. You didn't
I eat quiche? I eat quiche, or did I eat quiche? No, I have eaten quiche in the past, but I didn't eat any quiche, no.
That was the official coronation dish, was quiche.
What? It's French.
Well,
quiche is French originally.
I know.
Quiche Lorraine.
Yeah. No, it wasn't quiche Lorraine. It was like spinach and broad bean and something else, arugula, which I can't remember what arugula is called over here. I don't know if that's coriander. No, arugula is a type of lettuce. Anyway, yeah.
Why would the official food was quiche? Really? Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was the official food was quiche. Yeah. Before it was coronation chicken. Right. But we actually made coronation chicken.
Did you really?
Yeah, and my dad made scones, and they were a bit hard, but it was okay. Warm them up, and they went a bit soft. So he left them in too long, but no, they were all right. We couldn't get any clotted cream though, and that's a big problem over here. And I've tried to make my own clotted cream by putting it in the oven on a very low temperature for days on end, and it didn't work. That was a disaster.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, I did not know that. That's something I've learned today, that the official thing was quiche.
Yeah. Disgusting. Anyway, we were having a chat off camera about what is Charles going to do now?
Yeah, and that started because I said, if we have to have a king, and if there has to be a king, and there is a king, so, then he should act like a king. That's what I said. So in other words, what I think he should do is, as much as he can, within the confines of, all the other things they'll get him to do, because he's really a ceremonial guy. They'll pop him up on they'll get him all over the place, and then people can wave at him or something. He'll visit a factory, he'll visit a school, he'll do all these kind of things. But what he should do, in my opinion, is he should listen to his people. He should not listen to politicians. He should definitely not listen to the politicians, but he should listen to the English people, because England is going through quite a change at the moment. Quite a few things are happening that a lot of English people are really not happy about. And I don't know what he can do directly, probably not a lot. I mean, one of the problems is when his mum was on the throne, you know, I mean, the royals don't really have any hard power anymore, but they have soft power, and she knew how to use it a lot. Now, I don't know if he does or will or cares or anything, but you know, it's stuff they can do behind the scene. They just cannot come out, unfortunately, in the public and say, you know, we shouldn't do this, or we should have that, or we shouldn't. They very much, he could do it while he was Prince Charlie boy. I mean, it didn't really matter then, but now he's, you know, he's in the top job. It's much more difficult for any reigning monarch, you know. It was very interesting. I did see in Scotland, in Glasgow, there's two football teams in Glasgow, which predominantly don't like each other. As Glasgow Rangers and Glasgow Celtic.
Yeah.
One plays in blue. Yeah, I mean, it's been, you know,
I
it's
know
a bit
about
like,
that.
do you know about what they were singing?
What were they singing?
Well, there was a film clip of, and I think it was Celtic. I'm pretty much sure it was Celtic, who, because they play in the green and white. I think Rangers play in the blue and white. But they were there was half of the stadium, so you're looking at probably, I would guess, at 25,000 people, all Glasgow, all Celtic supporters. And they had a rousing rendition of "You Can Stick Your Coronation Up Your," and then they carried on, and they did it in a tune that's quite popular, and it was quite funny, really, because they're not really a big fan of the English royals. So they had this, and they sang it at this football match, and the camera managed to capture about 30 seconds of it before I'm sure the camera operator was told to stop, you know. But they released it on some of the social media channels. So I just happened to have it sent to me. It was quite funny, actually. So this was about a week ago. It wasn't on the day. This was about a week ago. But you know, there's been a lot of I don't know. Apparently the whole kabang cost about 130 million or something, all of this. You know, so I mean, it's not like we haven't got better things that we're, you know, to spend money on.
130 million. That's a lot of money. And you know,
it is for the UK. I mean, I know
is.
it's not for America, but it's for UK, and UK is not doing very much good at the moment. We're handing
it's
out,
not.
you know.
It's not. We were calling our relatives, you know, oh, what are you up to? And what, you know, are you excited about the coronation? Because we're excited from afar. We're excited. And they were not really bothered. They were just like, well, you know, there's no time for this. And this is very expensive. And what a display when everybody, you know, is struggling to eat. And, you know, prices are out of control, and we've had this whole heating crisis and energy crisis and gas crisis. Now we have a food crisis, and of course, with the AI coming in, there's going to be that crisis as well. Yeah, they weren't that enthusiastic, and I think the American audience that are listening to us today, I don't think they realize that about the UK. You know, it used to be all royalists, or at least, you know, majority. It's waning. And that would be something that I would like to include in this probe today, to see if we go out maybe to King George's reign and see how relevant the monarchy is then. But anyway, back to Charles and his listening skills. What would you like to know?
Yeah, I'm just formulating it now. Right.
Oh, God.
Oh, well. So, okay, let's ask him this. Now he's king. What are his plans in the short and medium term? What are his plans in the short term, medium term?
Well, he is revamping the monarchy.
In what way is he going to revamp the monarchy?
He's cutting a lot of spending.
Okay.
All of the, you know, they're going to see a sell-off of some residences. There's a lot of wastage going on. He wants all of the property to become ecologically friendly. more rewilding, is what he's telling me. He would like to see them as nature reserves. So more of a habitable place for birds and different wildlife. So he's got plans in the works. He definitely does.
Okay. What about, all right, well, that's to do with the properties. What about his interaction with the with the public at large, you know, the British public?
He's going to slim that down as well.
What, he's going to slim the British public down?
No, I feel like he's going to not do so many engagements.
Okay.
Engagements are costly.
Right.
And
Yeah.
environmentally, they cost a lot of money as well. Flying places, carbon footprint. I feel like he's really going to make a lot of changes where you're not going to see the royal family right now, according to his own personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions. I have to throw that in there so people are like, Liz, you're making this up. No. But he's really going to start cutting back, and he's going to do his bit for the planet. And he believes that if he does this and people see him actively doing this, that they will be inspired by him and also follow suit. Now, personally, when I hear that answer, I'm like, wow, you are really out of touch with the people. Because he can afford to do what he's doing. The British public cannot. And I don't, do you realize how bad the country is hurting at the moment economically? Well, he says, I know that, you know, they're having to pinch their pennies. And I'm saying, but it's much worse than that. I don't think he has an idea of that. He's really not like his sons. His sons are more in touch with the regular people in the UK, not the aristocracy that, you know, they've had more of a normal sort of exposure. Whereas, you know, traditionally, these aristocrats, they have minimal exposure. He's very out of touch, and that's coming through very strongly.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's what a lot of people say. He's quite aloof because he hasn't really. I mean, one of the problems with being crowned king such a later time in life is he's, you know, he's had that gilded life all his life, but shielded at the same time. You know, he hasn't had to have the responsibility his mother had. So, okay. All right. So he's going to cut down on traveling. He's going to cut down. He's going to turn his palaces into eco-friendly butterfly havens or something. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So wildlife. Okay. Well, that's all good. No, nothing wrong with that. He's going to sell off some of the properties.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Okay.
he is. And he's also people that have been living off of the royal purse, which is quite a few, actually, quite a few people that we don't even know about that live off the royal purse. They live in very expensive properties, maybe that were given to them a long time ago, or they were allowed to live there. I feel like they may be turfed out.
Right.
I do. I feel like he is going to slim down the spending, rein in the spending for sure. Why? To fund his ecological projects, right? Who paid for the coronation? Did the royal family pay for? No, they didn't pay for it. They didn't pay for it.
No, British taxpayer did.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. I did not know that. I thought the royal family paid for some of that, because I know they do pay for weddings and occasions like that most of the time. No, they did not pay for the coronation. Wow. See, do you believe, how do you feel about the UK and, you know, where it's headed right now? he's completely, oh, this is so frustrating, because you and I were having a chat thinking that maybe he's going to listen and change things around. He is so
No, I hold on, wait, slow down. I did not say I think he was going to do that. I said I wish he would do that. That's what he should do. I don't believe for 1 minute this guy's going to do any of it. But
no.
if he's smart, if he wants to keep the royals, as some sort of entity that people care about, that's what he should do. I didn't say I thought he would. And obviously now it's coming out in this probe that, he's away with the fairies when it comes to all, being in touch with anybody about this.
He is so far removed from normal people, normal life. Because I said to him, what do you think about the future of the UK? And he's just like, well, you do you. They do them, we do us, and that's it. But I'm saying to him, do you not understand that you are becoming irrelevant? And yes, he does understand that. He does understand that. So how are you going to salvage that and remain relevant? And he believes it's going to be through environment, that he is planning to take the UK, because this is something he can actually do within his power. He believes he wants to make the UK this environmental powerhouse, cut down on the greenhouse gases, really take the nation forward. And that's how he thinks he's going to maintain his relevance. He is completely out of touch here.
Is he following the agenda of the World Economic Forum and Climate 2030, or what is it?
Yes, he is.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yes,
so he is. That's a globalist agenda. So that's okay. Well, that's not good then, is it? Because he's not. He's following he's following an outside, a third party agenda, not the one. I mean, most people in England don't care about all that stuff. They just don't. Sorry.
Well, and I think that people would care more if it came at a very low cost. The problem is all of these things are very costly. So, with him, he doesn't see any problem with that. With the regular man who can barely afford to buy groceries at the store, and get jailed for non-payment of council tax. And by the way, also, I think what people need to understand is that the crown owns most of the land in the UK. You have this whole system of freehold and leasehold. And even if your property and you own that property and it's on the land of the crown, you have to pay rent to the crown. So it may not be a lot of money. It may be 100 or 200 quid a year. But you're still paying rent to the crown. And once that leasehold expires, you then have to pay the crown money if they allow you to buy the freehold. I know, a lot of people don't, outside of the UK, they don't understand that. And it can be very costly too.
Well, hang on, you have that. Okay, so this goes back. There's one way okay, in America, you don't own the land your houses are on either. You know that because you pay property taxes. If you owned it, you wouldn't have to pay tax, would you? It's the same thing.
Okay. So we pay property tax, yes, but it's still our land. We don't have to buy the freehold from the government.
Yeah. If you want to have true ownership of land, you need something called a allodial title. Okay, if you have a allodial title to your land, you don't have to pay property tax and you don't have to pay anything. And there are very few places left on that. There are places in Scotland which still have a allodial title. These are farms and crofts that have been passed down from generation to generation and did not go through any government agency. But if you have a allodial title to your land and you sell it to someone and you use a lawyer, they'll register the land. And if you register the land, register comes from regis, stir, to the king, to the crown, regis, give to the king. Yes.
Right. Well, the long and the short of it is he's slimming down. He is. He's going to slim down the property.
Right. So that
I
means
think.
does that mean the crown properties or the ones that he owns? Because as Duchy in Cornwall, he owns a lot of property.
No, the ones that he owns.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, fine.
So we got to ask this because everybody, after that little explanation of what freehold and leasehold is, I'm sure we bored them all now. We have to ask this. Did you speak to Harry at all when he came to visit? No. Okay, he did not. Did you see him? Yes, he glanced at him in the coronation ceremony. He knew that he was there, but did you speak to him? No. So he did not speak to Harry. Did you have any were you in the same room apart from Westminster Abbey? Were you in the same room with him? No. What do you think about Harry returning back to America so quickly? Immediately after the coronation, he went straight to the airport. He went home. He said, good, right? Because the reason I asked that is the papers are reporting that Charles, said something to the effect of, it was a shame he didn't stick around. And I thought, I don't know if that's true. And that's why I also wanted to probe him today. He was glad that they left. In fact, they all were. And do you want to see him? No, he doesn't want to see him. And he's basically saying, he just gave me like the symbol of, off with their heads, right? He's basically wanting to get him out. And that's what I feel. Will you officially throw him out? No, but he will cut off communication.
Right. Okay.
See, I don't think Harry knows what he's got himself into. I just don't. Let me bring in Prince Harry here. Let's bring them all in. Why not have a royal knees up? Let's have a royal knees up. So I have Harry. You raced off to Heathrow. Yes, I did, he says. And you got on the plane. Yes, that's correct. And you went home. Yes. And why did you not stick around? He said, because I had to go home for the birthday party. But I'm saying, well, actually, you could have brought your son and your children with you to the coronation. And he just said, no, I couldn't. Meghan would not allow that. So you're telling me that she said that the children could not go. And he says that's correct. Will Meghan ever return to the UK? Maybe for like a shopping trip, right? But will she ever speak to your family ever again? And I'm getting a no. So right now the intention is to completely cut themselves off from the family. And he just said, my dad is impossible. In what way do you mean your dad is impossible? You can't talk to him. His mind is already made up before you even start the conversation. He's not open for discussion. It's always, steeped in tradition. This is the way it's supposed to be. The family secrets are supposed to be held secret. He wouldn't listen to me my entire life. I kept crying out for help. Nobody listened. So this is what they get, right? That's what Harry is saying.
Right. Okay.
Let's ask William what he thinks of his brother. What do you think of your brother? You see, again, the same symbol, off with his head. He's gone. He's finished with our family. Do you want to see him? He goes, no, I never want to see him again. Do you think in time that you will be able to heal this? And he's saying no. He's saying absolutely not. He removed himself from our family. He removed himself from his sense of duty, from the power, from the money. He wants to make it on his own and try to carve out a life for himself. Let him go do it. What do you think that their marriage will last? He says possibly it will. Now, I've got news for everyone on that. I've actually probed that years ago when they first got married. I said they're going to have 2 children and then they're going to end up getting divorced. So they will not stay together very long. She has an agenda. Unfortunately, I think, that it's all going to fall apart. He hasn't realized what he's done here. It's just sad all the way around. It's sad. And it's sad that it's all out in the public as well.
Right. Well,
Just
I mean, to be
fair.
fair, we did a royal probe not that long ago, and a lot of this information came out then, didn't it? I mean, you extensively probed these people, and a lot of it, was pretty much. I mean, it concurs with what you said last time, I think.
It does. But the fact that he left so quickly, he didn't want to be there. I actually probed him during the ceremony and he just did not want to be there at all. He just showed his face just to show, and that was it. He did not want to be there. He did not want to talk to anybody. He didn't want to mingle. He wanted to get out of there as fast as possible. Now that was during the ceremony, and he did. He wanted to be, separate. He wants to be away from them. He doesn't like how they operate. He just said to me, I've always felt like an outsider. And I'm saying, but why? Because you're basically raising yourself. There's no guidance. There's no parental figures. You're just left up to your own devices with tons of money and tons of opportunity, but it's not enough. And I know that from the CTT, right? When I'm doing the CTT, what I'm finding the more that I do it is that bonding, especially with the parents, in the very crucial beginning years of life, it has to take place. And energetically, if that is not taking place, you have this void within you. And then you look to fill that void for the rest of your life. And it all has to do with that initial bonding. Were you seen as important? Were you cared for? Were you loved? Was there affection given to you? What was there time given to you? And if those things are not there, you cause a lot of hatred and anger. And that's what I'm picking up from Harry. A lot of hatred, a lot of anger, feeling very unloved.
Right. Okay.
So on that note, any more questions for any of the royals? I feel like
I think we should push him out a while. I mean, he's just been crowned and he's got all these ideas of what he wants to do. Why don't we put him out a couple of years, say?
I was gonna say, because I don't see him living as long as his mother.
No, well, okay, but all right. Well, let's find. I mean, I don't know. What are we now? May 2023. Why don't we put him out to December 2025? 1st of December 2025.
December 1st, 2025, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What would you like to know?
So is he still king?
Are you still king? Yes.
Okay. How's the last 2.5 years been since your coronation? What's happened?
He's actually been quite depressed.
Right. Okay. Why is that?
Why are you depressed? Because he wanted to do all of these things and he's being stopped and blocked at every avenue.
Okay. Who's been stopping and blocking him?
Who's stopping and blocking him? The government.
Why had the government been stopping and blocking him? I thought they were on board with all that sort of stuff.
It's all about public image. Okay, it doesn't look good. Asking people to pay more to become this powerhouse and this, green country is totally out of touch. So that's what the government have told him, which is exactly what I picked up on. He was totally out of touch. And they said, no, Britain is not ready for this. They can barely afford to feed their. On his own properties, he has taken on board some rewilding projects, but he wanted to do a mass rewilding project as well. I feel like create eco centers around the country where people can go and learn how to be more ecologically friendly and environmentally friendly. But that is completely not on the balance sheet for that. There's no money for that.
Right.
He's out of touch.
He's out of touch. So what's his relationship currently with the World Economic Forum people?
It's pretty good.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. You see, I have the Queen standing here, not the present Queen Camilla. I'm talking about Queen Elizabeth II. And she's not happy. She says he does not have the backbone to stand up to all these people.
Right.
He's going to let them run all over him. Now, William, on the other hand, he does have more of a backbone. And you're going to see what a strong king William will be. And let's ask her this. Is the monarchy actually going to be able to survive? No, it's not. It's not going to be able to survive. It's going to take about 4 to 5 generations, and it will be, it's the shrinking violet, isn't it? It'll be so irrelevant. Buckingham Palace may even be turned into a government, maybe a historical place, not a private residence. It just seems like it's going to lose all relevance, because the poorer that people become and the more wealthy that they become, the royal family, it's going to create this massive divide. Now, William is going to be a very successful king, and he's going to update the monarchy, and he's also going to make it a lot more money. They're going to have obscene amounts of wealth, even more than what they have now. And that's going to cause a lot of problems going down the line. So by the time George has a child, and that child is king or queen, that's pretty much, the monarchy is going to be pretty dead.
Okay, but so all right, you say William is going to be is it William's going to be a good king?
Yes, that's what she says. Okay,
well, let's ask the Queen, when will William be king?
When will William be king? It's not long. Is Charles gonna be as old? No, Charles is not gonna be as old as his mom. No. So it's not far off into the future.
Well, how long? 5 years, 4 years, 10 years?
Oh, it's gonna be more than 5, maybe even more than 10, but you're not gonna have like 20, 30-year reign,
Right. Does he step down, or does he?
No.
No.
He is going to have a sudden illness, and he'll go quite quickly.
Right. Okay.
He'll be out of the public eye for about the last year or 2 of his life, pretty much out of the public eye. William will take over most of the duties, and that'll be the end of it. At this point, well, let's ask her this. Will William and Harry ever mend their relationship? And I am getting, eventually Will Charles and Harry ever mend it? No. It will be after the death of their father that they actually come together again, because they realize that nobody understands each other like the best, the both of them. They, that type of upbringing, that type of tradition, the ceremony, the history, and only those two will understand it. And I feel like their relationship will be recovered. Will Camilla outlive Charles? Yes, she will. Camilla will outlive Charles actually for quite a long time after Charles. So and the royal purse will have to obviously fund her.
Yeah.
But she won't be queen. She'll be the former queen, and William will take over.
Right.
But it looks as if 4 to 5 generations down the line, you and I won't be here, but hopefully this video still is, and they can say, "Oh, Liz, you got a hit." But the changes that are taking place in the UK are so vast and so, completely life as we know it, British culture, everything is dissolving. And with it is their relevance, and that will dissolve as well. William will have a resurgence in their relevance, but then I feel like little King George is going to be quite destructive. He will.
He's following William then, yeah? Is that right? He follows William.
Will George follow William? Yes, but he's actually quite a destructive little soul.
Right. Okay.
So all these things are in the works already, and yeah. And I feel like Camilla was the only person that could really deal with that. Could Diana deal with it? No, because Diana had her own problems, and he could not deal with that. He could not deal, even though he caused a lot of it, but he could not deal with those issues. He had his own issues. He needs somebody that revolves around him at all times, right? And although Diana tried, it didn't work. It didn't work. Camilla lets him shine. Diana overtook him in as far as fame, and that really bothered me.
I remember that. My God, yeah. Oh yeah.
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 I just want to apologize to a lot of the Patreon subscribers, guys. Those questions they cannot be aired on YouTube. Sorry about that, but I know that those questions are relevant, but no, we cannot put that stuff out on YouTube. They will shut Liz down.
Well, we can put it on an unlisted list.
Just be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you sign up to the backup channel, guys. If you look at the first comment, you're going to find where to go for the backup channel in case this channel is ever taken down. Seriously, the world does not like psychics. I'm finding that out. And to also subscribe to the newsletter at psychiclizcross.com. So if we do disappear for any reason, you will be notified where to find us. Thank you very much, Mr. Shakespeare. Thanks for doing this probe.
Okay.